Hi everyone, welcome back to Essy Cooks. In this video, we're going to be doing another vegetarian meal prep for the week. So we're going to be making breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we've got you totally covered with healthy meals that are delicious. We're going to get in our veggies, our fiber, our protein, all of that good stuff. So I think we're almost at episode 10 of meal prep for the week, which is crazy. I do meal prep every week, but I'm only filming it sometimes. So let me know if you have any requests for that. Trying to get out one per month at least. A lot of times I am repeating myself, so I don't film it because it's easy to just repeat the recipes, right? So we're going to start with these really healthy, delicious oatmeal breakfast cookies. Everybody has been loving these. So if you love, like kind of a banana bread flavor, these definitely have that with oatmeal. Banana oat breakfast cookies. So the base is going to be bananas. We need 3 ripe bananas. I did double it, but I have the single recipe up on the screen there. And then we're going to add in our flaxseed for binding. So that's a 1/4 cup of ground flax. And then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of all natural peanut butter. Now I actually made homemade peanut butter, which is so good. It's 1 ingredient. If you want to see the video for that, let me know. I can link it below. If you have the time, if you have a food processor, making your own homemade peanut butter is so good. It saves you money. It tastes way better than the regular stuff, and it's healthy. And then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. You can put agave, you can put honey, you can put whatever you want, just something a little bit sweet because this is healthy, yes, but we're calling it a breakfast cookie, so we need a little something sweet in there as well. So I'm going to mix that all together. We're also going to add chocolate chips, and then our oats, which is going to be really great for fiber. So 2 cups of rolled or quick oats directly in there. Like I said, double batch. That's why you're seeing so much go into this bowl. These are really easy to make, and another thing I love about these, which is why I made a double batch, is that they're freezer friendly. So you can make them ahead and you can pull them out of the freezer. Sometimes you just only have so much time to meal prep and you need healthy food on hand. And speaking of healthy, we're going to add a bunch of nuts and seeds, and we're also going to add in some chocolate chips. You can add raisins, or you don't have to add the chocolate chips at all. But for my husband, he's definitely wanting those chocolate chips. And this makes 15 cookies. So if you're having a hard time putting the dough together, see, it's a bit sticky, you can leave it in the fridge for half an hour and then form them into cookies. But honestly, I find if you just aren't too particular about how the shape turns out, you can do it right away. But like I said, if you're having a hard time, just put them in the fridge to harden up a little bit, and it does definitely help. But I don't have any time to wait, so I'm just making them right away. So there's my double batch of cookies. I've got the oven at 350 degrees. I'm going to throw those in for about 10 to 15 minutes until they are golden brown on the bottom. So you can check them about 10 to 12 minutes and see where they're at, see if they need a few more minutes. I'm not too particular with these. I mean, you could technically eat these raw if you wanted to. It would be kind of gross, but yeah, so you don't have to worry about undercooking them or anything like that, which is really great. So you can check those out. Make sure it's golden brown at the bottom. Those are so delicious for breakfast. Now for our lentil pasta sauce, we have 1 cup of dry red lentils. I love dry red lentils. They are so good for you. There's so many health benefits. They have protein, everything like that, and they're also super cheap. So I'm always trying to find different ways to use red lentils in recipes. So you can check out my other recipes. I have a lot of red lentil recipes. So if you have a packet at home you're trying to use up, definitely check that out. That's essycooks.com. Now we're going to start soaking some cashews. So that's 1/2 cup of cashews I'm soaking in boiling water for 20 minutes. So you just boil the water in your kettle and throw that on. Now I've got 2 large carrots here. I'm just going to cut those into nice large coins. I'm going to add those red lentils from earlier into 3 cups of vegetable broth, and I'm going to cook this down. Be careful to measure the vegetable broth because we're actually going to be using all of this. So don't just throw any amount of water in. Make sure it is 3 cups. And that's my powdered vegetable broth because I didn't have any regular, so I'm just adding that in. I'm going to cook the carrots in with the lentils for our sauce, and we're going to be blending it all together later. It seems kind of weird right now, but honestly it does taste really good. It's so creamy and delicious, and such a good way to eat red lentils if you like your lentils. And here, of course, we're going to be giving a little piece of carrot to Amika. She wasn't even begging at the kitchen. She just got it hand delivered on the couch. Silly girl. Okay, back to the cooking. So I've got a large pot of water, bringing that to a boil, adding salt. I'm going to add about 500 grams of pasta noodles of choice. So regular pasta noodles like this actually have a bunch of protein in them, which is great. That combined with the lentils is going to add up. You can use any noodles that you like. Now, I've got one large cucumber here, and I'm going to start dicing that up to my liking. You can just cut them in rounds, you can cut them in half moons, whatever you like. This is going to be for our lunch option. And my husband is so talented at making these videos entertaining and helping cook all the food. So now back to the pasta. I'm going to save a little bit of pasta water. Use a spoon, don't use a mug like me. Do what I say, not what I do. Might be a little dangerous with the steam. Now we're going to check on the lentils and carrots. Those are cooking nicely. It's been about 10 minutes. They are almost done. Now I'm also going to cook some peas to go with our pasta. I'm going to cook about 1.5 cups of peas to go on the side of our meal prep. We're going to get so much good protein and veggies in this meal. It's packed full of fiber. It's packed full of veggies. It's so healthy and delicious. Now I'm going to put that right into the blender. It's a bit hot. You could let it cool a little bit. I'm going to add some lemon juice. I'm going to add some miso. I'm going to add some cloves of garlic in there because we want to make it flavorful. I mean, lentils and carrots themselves aren't overly flavorful, so we are relying on some extra ingredients like the nutritional yeast, the miso paste, and things like that to make it even more delicious. If you don't have nutritional yeast and miso paste, that's totally fine. You can use vegan Parmesan cheese or regular Parmesan cheese, some Parmigiano Reggiano, whatever you want, but you will need something a little extra in there just to add to the flavor, to add to the deliciousness. Now our pasta noodles are cooked, so I'm going to strain those off. And I'm going to start blending up that sauce. It's going to thicken, especially when we add the cashews. I think I forgot to add the cashews in at the start, so I had to go back in and add those into the blender. But honestly, the lentils do really thicken up and the cashews really thicken up when you heat them. So that's really great for this. So now I'm going to put those pasta noodles back into the pot and mix it all together with the sauce here. So the sauce, like I said, between, the nutritional yeast, the cashews, the lentils, and the actual pasta noodles, you're going to get a lot of protein per serving, and we're going to get even another extra small boost from the peas on the side, which is our vegetable. You don't have to put peas on the side if you don't want to. You can have a side salad. You can have nothing at all. It's totally up to you. Now, this makes a really big batch of pasta, so depending on your appetite, maybe this makes 4 servings, maybe it makes 6 servings. I mean, my husband likes to have larger servings than me, so maybe for him it makes 4, maybe for me it makes 6. Depends on the day, depends if it's lunch or dinner, everything like that. So you can just divvy this up how you like. You can see how much it makes for you. Add a little bit more pasta sauce in there. I wasn't sure if I was going to need it. But the thing is, because we're going to be reheating this later on, because I'm using it for meal prep, I want it to be extra saucy. So we're going to add salt and pepper, of course, to taste. Taste it. If it's missing a little something, add some more salt and pepper. And then I had some dried parsley that is from my garden last year, and I just save it in whole leaves and then crumble it up on top. A little parsley just adds a really nice flavor to this. Like I said, you could add some parm on top of this too if you wanted, but I personally didn't think it needs it. Like, look at how creamy and delicious. What a great way to get in your lentils. Honestly, if you're trying to get in more lentils, more fiber, lentils are just so good for you. So many health benefits. Now I have my containers here, so I'm going to be separating that pasta into 4 containers. But for me, I couldn't finish it because I just felt like it was too much for me personally. But depends on the week, depends on the day. So yeah, I definitely would have made those into maybe 6 servings for myself. Those peas are almost cooked. Now we're going to start working on our soba noodle salad. So normally I would make a homemade dressing. If you want, I can totally share below the dressing recipe, which would be really simple to make something very similar to this. But there was someone in the grocery store selling his homemade dressing, and he was so enthusiastic about it, and he was so excited for me to try it. And honestly, it tasted amazing. So I had to buy it and support just a local, restaurant that also makes their own sauce and sells it. So definitely love to support local. Now we'll need 2 tablespoons of dressing per jar. Like I said, if you want a, Asian sort of sesame ginger dressing recipe, I can put that below, just a really simple one that's going to be similar to the one that I put in here, but you can also just buy it from the store just to save yourself some time. I mean, that's one thing I love to do with meal prep too. Sometimes I cut a few little corners, buy something a little bit pre-made, something like that, just to save myself on time because life is busy. Now look at that. We are all ready with the peas, and now these are not peas, these are edamame. So we're going to cook 3 cups of edamame in boiling water, and we're going to cook enough soba noodles, 1 bunch per person. They usually come in pre-portioned bunches, so you want to cook those according to the package instructions. For me, it was only about 4 minutes because this is a cold soba noodle salad. Once they're done cooking, I'm going to rinse them really thoroughly in cold water. Now, soba noodles, they can be gluten-free. Check the package. Sometimes they're gluten-free, sometimes they're not, but soba noodles are very healthy for you. Just check the ingredients, double check if you are worried about gluten-free, because that is something you can do. Now we're going to add the cooked edamame. We're going to add those cold soba noodles. You know, they have a little extra protein, a little extra fiber compared to a regular noodle. So absolutely love that. And they taste so good in this salad. We're going to top it with the cucumber. And then I also chopped up some green onion to put on top. And we're going to sprinkle some sesame seeds on top too. You could add even more cucumber. You could add some cabbage. Later in the week, I wanted to bulk it up a little bit. I added a little bit of grated cabbage in there just for a little bit more crunch, a little bit more veggie, but they're honestly perfect like this. They taste so good. You can add a little bit of chili crisp oil on top, and wow, she's getting a lot of samples today. It is her absolute lucky day. So this is everything that we made for the week. Another week of vegetarian meal prep. So we have these delicious breakfast cookies, which, like I said, I froze half of them, which was so handy for the next super busy week. These cold soba noodle salads, which we ate like 3 weeks in a row because they were so good. I did end up having to make homemade dressing because I ran out of that delicious one that I bought. And our pasta. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe for more like this.